Hi guys, this is Nikki, also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching October 13, 2020. This is the Philippine market update. So let's begin. It's a Tuesday. So WealthSec, this is a platform that I use. So you could see that today the volatility was on the upside for a few names, specifically your MRC. Your MRC went up 13%. This is from 32 cents to 37 cents with 2,000 trades. Now you've got some profit taking on your Dito Telcom, some 3% down. Some people managed to break out for Merrimart, but it actually stopped at 330 for the day. Managed to close at 310. We'll take a look whether tomorrow Merrimart will go up or go down. But so far, it's above 3. So 6,000 people traded in the buying and selling and 300 million pesos value traded for Merrimart. Now, there was volatility on the upside and the downside for the day. You could see that ASEN was moving very wildly after the breakout yesterday. It's 337. It's now 340. We'll go to the charts later on. Now, Corp was down and up. So it was very volatile to 470. So we'll take a look at that as well. MRC was on the way up. So that's a good move today. Nicolasia is also up and then down, so very volatile. You could see volatility on Nicolasia. ICT steady climb, 120 still there. Your Metro Bank is just there at 40 bucks. Your ABS was also quite volatile. It initially fell, then it went up. Let's discuss ABS today. AGI and Bloom were up. So they're both from 7. They went to 740, 730. They creep up. So index-wise, you could see that the top gainers for the day, let's take a look at that. Top gainers, you've got MRC. So we'll be discussing MRC. And then the other names that went up, 27 million Bcor. I wasn't taking a look at this. So mostly MRC, but sige, let's try to see whether there's something going on there. Web went up 5%, 33 million. GT Cap went up 404, so catching up with your Metro Bank. Your Merrimart, 300 million. So I think mostly let's talk about the largest value traded rather than the top gainers. Worst losers, the biggest loser for the day, let's take a look. On the volume side, it's still CHP, 145 million. There's volume on the downside for Nicolasia, 369 to 353, but 67 million. You have that volatility for Nicolasia. It's not really as bad as it looks. Of course, that is above 3, right? So there's just volatility. Dito Telecom, 292 million pesos, down 3%. It's getting a harder time to really go back to 7. No? So after hitting 6.5, it just really couldn't go higher anymore. Apex also fell from 161. Now it's back to 154. So your gold-related names. So let's take a look on all of these companies one by one. Okay, let's go to the charts. What was it? MRC first. So let's go first to the highest mover for the day. So we were noticing actually in the past few days, we were saying that MRC was doing a restructuring. And when we gathered the news that MRC was trying to be a solar renewable play, you are seeing that people had this buying signal and then a first move here. Your prior resistance at 28 cents has been becoming support. So this is first support, 28 cents. After this breakout of 24 cents, so far, MRC has been steadily climbing. Now, how high would MRC go? So far, we also said that 48 cents seems to be the very first resistance here, no? So you've got this resistance at 47 to 49 cents. You actually have resistance as well here at about, actually today, 38 cents is a resistance. But if it manages to break above that 38 resistance, it could go to this level of about 44. And then finally, this 48 level or 50 cent level. So we still have a lot of resistances, but our first target would be somewhere here at about 44 to 46 if 38 cents breaks out. It's a big if. Now, so far, we noticed that MRC managed to get supported. Let's take a look at the supports. Let's show you that. So after a drop, so we were saying that maybe it will have support at 32 or as low as 30 cents. It didn't go to as low as 30 cents. After hitting 32, it already went up to 37. So there was that buyer, that momentum was still there. So there was this buyer and then this buyer. So lots of buyers. And then even if there was this selling pressure at about 37 cents and 35 cents and 36 cents, it was all eaten up today. So you could see that there was still a strong move even as high as 33 to 34 cents to 32 cents. So very strong movement. The resistance first is about here, about 37, 38. But if we manage to break above that, next move is at about 44, 46, or even 50 cents. So let's see what the market will do. Example, the market was very strong last night with thugs, but today it didn't. So yesterday, very strong, 30% move. Today didn't fizzle out. So wala, nothing happened. No news as well. So I guess like the market doesn't know. But take a look what happens to thugs if it comes back here at about 105 or 110. Or even here at about 118, probably take a look first. It's more like a wait and see, because what if tomorrow this breaks up again at about 135? So we'll have to let the market let us know what's happening with Harbor Star Shipping. Okay, take a look. Green continues to go higher, so wala, steady lang. Small steps going up. Okay, so green goes up. ICT also goes up, crawling up. You could see that these names have been crawling up. So ICT is 120, next move is 125, then 130. You've got today some, let's show you a few index names as well. So Pure Gold stopped at about 52, 54, fell down back to about 44. That was a 10 peso drop. That was an initial support. So some people are willing to take 2 peso off of that 44 peso support as a potential buy low, sell high move. Now, granted, let's say it doesn't go 54, let's say it only goes to 50 pesos. I think that there are still that big range from 42, 44 to as high as 49 or 50. So there's that 10% range with an extra upside should Pure Gold go 54. Now, MPI has been discussed as a buyback program. So let's see what's happening today. MPI, we noticed that there was a higher resistance before at 360 that is now acting as a support. So that is your first line of support here at about 357. Today's drop is the second drop, but that is actually just a profit-taking move. Sorry. That is a profit-taking move. And you could see that MPI will have a resistance, of course, at about 4 and 420. So your prior resistance here at about 440 aren't gone. They're still there. So do note that any rallies on MPI at about 440 would have a resistance, but any drops back to 360 below would be supported. So if you bought at 376 today, the chances of downside could still be 357, but also the chances of a bounce is also imminent within this next, I don't know, a few weeks from now, if this volume really was a buyback. Now, what are the companies that did buyback other than MPI? AGI is one of them. So take a look at what's happened in AGI. Ever since that buyback program here at about 550 or 6, now it's trading at 7. The next resistance is at 8. So it just tells you that the company has money to buy back shares. They have ability. They have ability to weather this pandemic, but it doesn't mean essentially that that the woods are out. It doesn't mean that they're out of the woods. They still have these resistances. AGI still have this selling pressure at 8, at 9, at 10. But the good thing about it is that it is all higher lows. So from 560 to 6 to 7. Now let's take a look as well. Of course, we mentioned that Globe and Telephone will have a challenger in terms of broadband connectivity. There's Converge, there's Dito, there's Now. So let's take a look at all these 5 companies in terms of the charts for your telecoms. So in the Philippines, we do need a lot of broadband connections. Of course, that's something that every Filipino would want. So PLDT today can be seen with a higher low here at about 1,150. So we mentioned actually that in the Philippines, PLDT Smart, actually I'll mention it if you haven't known. PLDT Smart has 5G. Of course, you've seen Hyun Bin's, the girl in Hyun Bin and Crash Landing on You. Hyun Bin, Smart 5G. Sonia Jin, there you go. So Smart unveils since June Smart Ako campaign featuring superstar Hyun Bin. Anywhere you go with Smart's fan merch promo. So let me discuss to you why PLDT has been rising this year and why we continue to believe that this drop, I believe that it is a good entry point. I'm going to share to you that this PLDT today has been doing well in the broadband connectivity which is why we actually like all of these 5G related play of the market. Smart gives back to subscribers in a month-long Smart SKT rush to launch cheaper service plans, Smart to release Hyunbin's. So that TV commercial is not something that is the important thing. What's important thing is that they are combining 5G with the current 4G LTE Smart Wi-Fi fiber. Now, if you need to understand who's the partner of Smart, it's actually Ericsson. So I think that this is something that should be something that you should understand. Ericsson achieves the 100th 5G commercial agreement. Now, who is Ericsson? Ericsson is a Sweden company. I have discussed this in my Awesome 10X channel. No, sorry, my inner circle. But I'll tell you a few things about this. Ericsson, President and CEO Börje Ekholm, milestone reflects Ericsson's commitment to meeting the customer's needs. 5G, 56 live networks globally, including 3 in Australia and Thailand. Let me discuss to you that 4 of the telecom operators in US is all catered by Ericsson, whether it be AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, or T-Mobile. Similarly, Ericsson won in Singapore, Singtel, beating out Huawei. And you could see that the real company when it comes to a significant 5G milestone is Ericsson. So in the Philippines, it's good to share that Ericsson and PLDT have a partnership. I'll share to you that news. It's in everywhere. You just need to read PLDT. So top Philippine telco to launch 5G service with Huawei and Ericsson equipment in its existing networks. Both were widely expected to be involved in the 5G upgrade of the Philippines. So China's Huawei Technologies and Sweden's Ericsson. So these are companies that are doing well in the entire world when it comes to 5G. PLDT turns to China's Huawei and a bit of Ericsson for 5G. So PLDT taps Ericsson for 5G deployment since 2018. Smart and Ericsson to deploy 5G in Philippines PDF. So Smart Ericsson, so there. 5G rollout in 2020. Okay. So actually there is really that rollout. You could see the commercials of that. Let's see. PLDT Smart 5G. Experience Smart's 5G network rolls out in select areas of Metro Manila, Cavite, Laguna, and Clark City. Smart 5G goes live. In 2018, it fired up the country's first 5G stations in Makati with Huawei. Let's read this. So July 30, 2020, 5G handsets are now available. 5G coverage is in key CBD areas. Starting July 30, the 5G mobile phone network of Smart Communication is going live as a commercial service. In its initial phase, Smart Signature, Infinity, and other Smart postpaid subscribers will be enjoying super fast data service of Smart 5G in key business districts of Metro Manila using the handsets with 5G activated SIMs. Through partnerships with SmartG certified devices from Huawei, Samsung, Realme, and Vivo, which will be available with Smart Signature plans. After many years of preparation and sustained investments, we are very happy to say that Smart subscribers can now try out and enjoy the super fast data service that Smart 5G can deliver. So as we roll out 5G in more areas of the country, this will complement the deployment of our 4G LTE network, which is already the most extensive in the country and the fastest year to date, serving 95% of the country's population. Okay, so let's take a look at the chart of PLDT. Chart first, telephone. So if you look at the chart of PLDT, this is an uptrend and you've got a lot of buys. And this 1298 used to be your resistance that is now going to act as your first support. So in my view, this is a support at 1298 today. Low risk entries here for those who are investing in PLDT. And in the next few months, maybe, of course, it can fall further at 1240 or 1150. But I think that the downside is small and the upside is here at about 1479 or even here at about 14. So we have seen PLDT's earnings actually pick up very well in the last 8 quarters or about 2 years already, since 2018 to 2019 to 2020. It has bottomed out. So in my view, this is a buying opportunity. PLDT gets a buy rating from me. Now, Globe, let's take a look at that. Globe is now trading at 2,000 pesos, and Globe has been in a range from about 1.6 to 2003. Although I don't see that Globe will go 1.6, yes, it could fall here at about 1,960, but that is a very low downside risk compared to where the upside could be. Upside could be limited, of course, at about 2.1 or even at 2.2, but then nonetheless, 10% is still 10%. Beggars can't be choosers, so Globe and TEL will still give you a 10% upside, and it's stable. Now, in terms of stability, you are seeing that, of course, PLDT, Globe are comparable most of the time with Meralco due to the lavish dividends that both TEL yields gives. No, so far you could see that that's been happening, just a neutral place for Meralco. Every time 260, you've got a support. Every time 290, you've got a resistance. Here at 284, all the way to 290, you might see some resistances, just as what you've seen in MWC when it was getting a resistance here at about 15 and then a strong support here at 13. So very little ranges for these utility names. Now, in terms of media, let's talk about some ABS-CBN today. ABS-CBN actually managed to make what we would say is a continuation move, a retracement and a halt of a potential drop. So from 16.8, maybe it's just a lucky number. That's why it stopped at 16.8. It rallied from 7 pesos to 16.8 because of the news that ABS-CBN was going to resume potential Kapamilya channel through Zoe TV partnership. Now, Zoe TV partnership has a license. It is a Christian channel, and they might be showing a few Kapamilya shows within that channel 11. What is the implication here? The implication is potentially ABS can have a brighter day ahead because if more channels of ABS can continue to show even in a different network, then at least the people would have a job, at least some revenue income from advertising could come up. And so that happened from 16.8, you've seen it drop to 12 pesos. That was a support. It rallied back to 13.16. Some people aren't sure, so they might still wait here at about 12 tomorrow or even buy at a breakout of 13 if this one continues. This is just strong run-up, profit-taking, still a continuous mode to buy. So this was a buying area here, another buying area at that 9 level, and then, of course, today, another buying area at 12. Yes, there was this resistance at 16.8 and also resistance here at about 14.8. But in my view, if Kapamilya can really show in other channels, it's actually a good thing, no? So it is something that should be, it is probably a few months in the making, but let's see how it goes, no? So that's ABS for you. What else were we discussing? MRC, tapos na, ABS. Okay, the dito now see. Let's take a look at that. So the chart of Dito is really consolidating now. We have seen a short-term peak at 8 for Dito. So far, it is consolidating. The consolidation could be like this, or it could be, so something like this, maybe, like a consolidation. I don't know. It looks like a symmetrical triangle. The drop is really volume. So your volume has dropped, so momentum has waned. So the lower the volume, it used to trade at about 1 billion, 2 billion pesos. So right now, it doesn't have that volatility anymore. So less traders are willing. Most likely, they transferred already to MRC. So in my view, like Dito Telecom is consolidating. The narrower the range, the less the action for momentum. So I think like a lot of people have sold. They've sold at about 7. They've probably sold, maybe not all were able to sell at 850. So let's say they were able to sell at 770 or 750 or 7, or some of them sold just recently at about 650. From 7, it fell, crashed down to 550. This was a selling pressure as well at 650. So let's put these arrows here. The first selling was here, and then another selling pressure here, more selling zones here. So you could see that there's a lot of selling despite also a lot of buying. So there's a lot of buying pressure as well here at about 550. Another support. Actually, there's some supporters at about 6 pesos. But the tighter the range, if it's just 50 cents, some people might not trade it anymore. If it's just 580 to 650, no? So the tighter the ranges are, it's just gonna consolidate. So usually what you see here is profit taking already. So easy money finished. Of course, this came from about 250. This was 250 here, or let's say during August at about 320. You've seen the franchise renewal at 350. There was a support at 320. Assuming you bought here the breakout of 350, you'd still have made a much money, even if you didn't buy here, even if you didn't buy at the lows of April or March, no? So so I guess like for now, it's just already peaked. So that's what I think Dito Telecom is doing. Just a lot of profit taking already. Now let's take a look at now. Now also has peaked here at about 650. So far with that zone, you still have that resistance here at 6 and 650. We don't know. So far, it is a consolidating higher low indeed. But so far, this is your first line of support. Let's just draw the lines for your Now Corp. This is your first line of support at 4, but also a strong resistance here at about 650. I don't think it will fall below 4, but it depends. It could actually depends on how much profit taking will be. No, this one I think if you didn't get in early, you don't want to chase because the volatility is really very huge. It's just huge volatility. So there's 5 peso resistance. There's support at 4. There could be some supporters. It could even break 5. Actually, it can go to 6. But yeah, so far it's hard to really discuss what's gonna happen. What we do know is if you got in early, then you're really winning. So there was this very strong supports here at about 270 to 280, assuming you just bought that breakout when the companies they shared no the fourth license, right? You're applying for for that license, and then of course this one 320, and then this one. So you can just read the news, and if they are successful in making sure that they're able to deliver, and yeah, so they're in a restructuring mode. So there's that strength because of the restructuring news. What else? So Chelsea is just consolidating so far. So same lang. Because dito, actually, they move in tandem eh. Dito now, see, they move in tandem. So yeah, so if it's consolidating, if dito is consolidating, Chelsea is also consolidating. 420 rally to 688. Looks like some profit taking. But profit taking is happening because of people who got in early. They were profitable, diba? They're profitable. Okay, what else? Let's take a look at your questions. How about CREG? What is that? Is that a Philippine company? I don't know. Or are you talking about Converge? Well, Converge, I think, is an IPO that is quite a blue chip. So we'll have to see. But 30 billion pesos for Converge. I don't know if it's expensive because there's no such thing as expensive or IPOs. It doesn't trade on valuation per se. IPOs will move on ability for the company to grow. So Converge is a company that provides broadband connection. They have 2 million households. If let's say the Philippine company manages to grow their broadband subscription count to as high as 5 to 10 million downloads in broadband connectivity, then I think that not download, sorry, 5 to 10 million households in the Philippines, then that's gonna be a growth name for Converge. So I think that you have to know what's in the future, not in the past. So far, what do you know about the past? Converge is doing internet. So if they can provide more nationwide, then that's a good thing. So I have good words to say about Converge. Expensive and cheap is not really how I analyze a company. It's more about the growth trajectory. And I think that it's in a secular trend. All of these telecoms, whether it be, because we need 5G, we all need to be digitally transformed. So that's really just how I analyze it. Market isn't there's not much news on Surpass and Double Dragon. So when you look at the charts, I think there's nothing happening as well. Wait up, let me check. Nothing happening. So like if the company nothing happening, I guess nobody. You could see that there's no volume. So Surpass no volume. What else? What was the question? Ano yun? Ano ulit yun? Double Dragon. Okay, wala rin nangyayari. Let's take a look at the chart. Nothing happening too. Still just sleeping. No volume. Zero volumes. So it's hard to really understand where the company has no volume, no news. So I think nothing to speak of, no comment. Okay, guys, that's it for the day. Thank you very much for listening to the market update and see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.